The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 124 of The Daily Mother Swole. Huge biceps in plain view. Today is Wednesday, and it is hump day. Talking about squats. Do you need to do squats? Yes and no. Squats are a very effective exercise. One of the reasons why generally people always say, oh, you should squat because of not only the functionality, because squatting, whether you work out or lift weights or not, you're going to have to pick something up off the ground. You have to squat to get out of a chair. You have to squat to get out of the car. Squatting is just a super functional movement. It's very basic, and everyone should be able to squat just to stay alive and to stay independent. So yes, you need to squat, but not necessarily. You don't necessarily have to do squats with the kind of overload. You should be able to do at least body weight squats, but you should be doing overload, being weighted squats, for a couple reasons. If possible, you need the bone density. When you ever do squats and you put weight on your shoulders or your upper body, it overloads your skeletal system, which increases your bone density, which can reduce issues and problems that can stem from things like osteoporosis and thinning of the bones, and the degeneration of the bones as you get older. Also, the neural impact of doing squats, because there's so many muscles involved in a squat, stabilizing from the core and the spine and the upper body and the lower body, the coordination. You get a great neural impact. And when you have more neural impact, you get more muscle fibers involved. When you get more muscle fibers involved, your body will use more muscle, which, as a result, will work and stimulate more things like growth hormone and testosterone. So actually doing squats and doing larger macro movements like deadlifts and squats and multi-joint movements will increase testosterone production, which can in turn increase overall development, metabolism, and overall muscle mass. So it is an important aspect of a leg workout or of your routine. Remember, if you have really bad problems, a lot of times if you have knee problems from squatting, like it hurts when you squat, it hurts when you lunge, chances are it's because of muscle compensations, and it can be corrected, but that doesn't mean you should be going through pain when you already have it. So if there's inflammation, if there's already pain, you need to be doing corrective exercise to fix it. You can fix it. We talk about this in my premium group on Facebook. You can fix these issues. You can work on them. You can do corrective exercise to create more balance. You can do foam rolling and massage and stretching, but you shouldn't be going through pain if you already have it. Like if you're already really in pain when you're doing squats, you should generally avoid them and do other things, because you don't want to go through pain. That's your body telling you this is not good, and that's obviously something you want to avoid. You want to avoid those warning signs. Those synergistic movements, that intramuscular coordination, like I said, that's great for systemic muscle growth. But if you can't do a squat, if you're not able to do a squat, there are some other things that you can do. The most important reason for doing a squat is to activate the glutes, is to get those muscles in the lower body working, but with the glutes in charge, making sure that the glutes are the number one muscle that's firing to stabilize the hips. So you could do glute bridges, you could do hip bridges when you're lying on your back, or when you're across a bench with a bar on your waist, squeezing your butt and pushing upwards. I have that exercise video on my YouTube channel. So if you haven't checked out my YouTube channel, go to youtube.com/Swolenormous. Just type in Swolenormous on YouTube, and I have my hip bridge video. You can put weight on your hips, doing things like the single leg squat, which requires less knee bending and works more with the hip hinge. You could do stiff leg deadlifts if done correctly. It's less pressure on the knees if knees are the problem, and it works more of the hips and the glutes. Basketball, any good to get lean? It's cardiovascular activity. I wouldn't necessarily you're going to get lean. You might lose some fat or some water weight, but building muscle is going to help you look lean, because you need muscle to look lean. You can't just lose weight. Bone structure isn't going to make you look leaner. You need muscle underneath it. And basketball players train a lot. They lift a lot of weights. Don't get that confused. They might be on the court a lot, but they're also in the gym a lot too. So things like hack squats, leg press, those machines, like extensions, those exercises could be beneficial A lot of machines are different. And I can't really speak and tell you to do a leg extension because I don't know how your body works. Do a leg press because I don't know what kind of leg press machine you have. Some are much better than others. Some are more versatile. Some you need to change the angle. Some leg extension machines, the seat back is leaning too far back. You can always put pads under it to bring your upper torso forward to reduce pressure and strain on your quadriceps tendons. It's hard for me to say, oh, this will be good for you. Just understand that when you do those exercises, when you do a machine, like a machine squat where you're locked in place top and bottom, that's a closed chain exercise. Most free weight movements are open chain, meaning one part of the body is locked in place on the ground or on a place where it can't move, and the rest of the body is open to rotate and do things freely, like a squat. Your feet are on the ground, your upper body is up. So if your body rotates in order to reduce pressure or to go around or to detour if you have certain bone structure or muscle tension inside the joints and around the joints working synergistically, the body will work around it. If you just go into a machine and your shoulders are locked on a pad and your feet are locked in place, your body has more limited places to move and to adjust. So a lot of times if the joints aren't moving properly, they just kind of grind or there's more pressure in the joint when potentially that could cause more of a problem for you. So a closed chain exercise can be detrimental. Doesn't mean if you do it once it's going to hurt you. Doesn't mean if you do one leg extension it's going to hurt you. Doesn't mean if you do one set of leg press or one workout it's going to injure you. But I would not make it a staple unless you have to. And there are certain ways to do those exercises that will reduce that kind of stress from the closed chain atmosphere. Just be aware that that's why a lot of those machines are dangerous to some people because the joints rotate, whereas the machine might only go in one track because it's designed. That's what a machine does. It doesn't account for every single person's possible natural movement. That's why it's a machine, and that's why free weights are generally safer because your body can move the way it's supposed to naturally. The most important thing that I can leave you with is that if you cannot do squats for whatever reason, you need to be activating your glutes. You need to do glutes. So squats, do you need to? I'd love to say yes, but you don't have to do everything if you're not looking for a specific or if you're not really demanding a certain specific aesthetic appeal, if you're not trying to go on stage, if you're doing this for general health and for pain, you don't necessarily need to do squats, but it's great if you can. If you can't, you should always be able to do a bodyweight squat. If you can't do a regular squat, you're probably already in a wheelchair or you're really in trouble. You need to be able to do a squat functionally. So things that can help you do a squat if you're already in pain, doing stretching, doing yoga. I always recommend yoga to everyone. I teach yoga a few times a week. So to answer your question online, yes, yoga. I keep saying that, so make sure you do yoga whether you like it or not. Find a class that you like, that you can stand and do it. It's so good and it'll change your life. That being covered, make sure you get your glutes activated. Make sure you're doing glute work, whether you're doing a kickback with ankle weights, whether you're doing a machine that targets the glutes specifically, like you're standing on, kneeling on it, and you're kicking back. I have one of those exercise videos that targets the glutes. At my gym, we have a glute kickback machine. Some of your gyms may have that. That's pretty popular nowadays. But doing regular hip bridges on the ground, like my YouTube channel, activating the glutes is going to be super, super, super important because no matter what happens with the lower body, with the legs, the glutes should be the main muscle that's working during a squat, should be the main muscle that's working when you're doing any kind of bending movement. Any kind of bending movement, any kind of hinge, when you're creating power in the lower body, your glutes should be the main stabilizer of the hips. It's the main actor for hip extension. That's where you're getting your power from. So if your glutes aren't firing properly, it doesn't matter what you're doing, you're putting yourself at risk for knee injuries and knee pain and lower back pain and could be even shoulder and neck pain. So glutes are super important. They stabilize the core. They're the base of the pyramid. If you don't have those firing, whether you're doing squats or not, you could be in for some unfortunate incidents. So don't expose yourself to that if you can help it. I'll stay for a couple minutes after on Busker, Periscope, and Facebook if there's any questions. Remember, you can always catch this on YouTube at my YouTube channel, Swolenormous, and also in podcast form on SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher. And I'm live on Facebook, Busker, and Periscope, so you can pick your poison, and those are able to be watched. You can watch the Facebook Live later on my Facebook page. If you're looking for more detailed private training, group training, looking for an accountability group, a fitness community, you can sign up for my Swolenormous premium group. It's my private Facebook page. that is accessible through my website. It's $4.99 a month. We do program design, nutrition. We talk about corrective exercise. We do analysis for movements. We do accountability meetings weekly. We do questions and answers. We do a lot of different stuff. And if you need help to get started, if you need help to stay on track, to get back on track, that's something that you should definitely get into. So I will be talking more about that in the future. Of course, I'll be here tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern time. So if you're doing legs today, if it's hump day for you, that's why I kind of thought about the glute theme today. So hump day, get your workout in, do something. Make sure to check out my other videos. If you have any questions, you can also find me on Snapchat, Instagram, anywhere you like to do media, on your phone, on your computer, type in Swolenormous, and I'll be there. Thank you for joining. I'll see you tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern time. Peace out, and enjoy your Wednesday.
Another.